This is James Elder for iFL TV. I'm in Newcastle today in the Hilton Hotel. It's fight night. Stuart Hall defending his IBF world title against Martin Ward. With me, I've got the promoter of this whole event, Dennis Hobson. What's happening, Dennis?
You've always got a smile on your face, you, James.
It's life's about being cheerful.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
There's too many miserable so-and-sos knocking about, isn't there? Who takes himself so serious.
That's right.
Yeah, it's great. Fight night, great setting. The hotel, what we're in, is a great setting, and it's a great fight city, is Newcastle.
Why do you think this took so long to bring big-time boxing back to the North East? The way that people are really geared up to watch this fight is
I know. You know the feeling we've got from it from being up here, and obviously yesterday at the weigh-in, it like really hit home. So I've got hairs on the back of my neck standing up, and obviously I'm a boxing fan anyway. So it's great to be part of, something where you're putting something together in a place where people are so positive and supportive. So it makes our job a lot easier, obviously.
If I didn't know who Stuart was and I wasn't into boxing, how would you sell this fight to me? What would you say to me?
Well, I think what you've got up here, because there's obviously a thought of this north-south divide. You've got somebody up here who's won something on the world scene. Sometimes we've got footballers, we've got different sports people, and as a nation, what do we win on the world scene? And fortunately, we do produce world-class fighters, and Stuart's one of them. He's done it towards his twilight of his career, I suppose. He's got probably 2 or 3 years left at the top, but he's achieved a pinnacle. He's come from nowhere, Cinderella man, fairy tale story. He's achieved a pinnacle, and he's made history by being the first kid from Darlington to win a world title. And we're making history tonight by having 2 kids from the North East fighting for the meaningful world title. So obviously, it's a special occasion.
For me, I can't take it seriously. I've just had as if they're playing me up in the background, so I lost my point of focus.
I know I'm trying to be serious here.
I'm trying to be serious as well.
I'm trying to be a professional. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I'm trying.
Listen, I think it's a great fight for the North East. And as we spoke about, there are a lot of options, a lot of people lining up to take a shot at Stuart Hall, aren't there? Provided he comes through this. Yeah,
you're always going to get that, where people want to latch on to keep themselves in the limelight. But there's. For whatever reason, you get too many politics involved in boxing, and you need to have, as well as good trainers and good management and good promotional team, you need a good legal team, and that's one of the downsides of boxing. But if people were a bit more honourable, then we'd get there'd be a bigger pie, because sometimes you get football which takes over 4 or 5, 6 of the back pages, and we get little bits of snippets in the nationals. Whereas boxing should be one of the major sports that it deserves to be, but because of the politics, I think that what undoes us a little bit more. And I think as a national sport, it could be even bigger if people get rid of their egos, start to be a bit more honourable. Then we could make bigger fights on a regular basis.
Do you think boxing's marketed wrongly? For instance, Formula 1. I'm not a great fan of Formula 1. I think it's shit.
You said that the other day.
2 cars driving around.
Say what you mean.
It's boring, but it's so marketed so well.
Absolutely.
It's appealing to people. Do you think boxing is kind of some ways a little bit behind the times in the marketing of the sport?
Yeah, because people are so intent and pulling in other directions. If we all sat down and created a bigger pie and just said, look, there's a big pie here, and we want to build it, put bigger fights together. Let's all be happy with just a bit of pie, what we've got, instead of everybody trying to trip each other up. And then boxing would be a flourish. We'd have household names. It'd be like the crossover where you get personalities that flourish. And like I say, you get the non-boxing people coming to boxing then, and then they start to appreciate the sport and follow kids who are not necessarily going to win world titles, but they're known. Their household names, and then it puts more money in their pocket, because some of the kids on the undercards and some of these non-TV shows, they're fighting for peanuts and they're putting everything on the line. Whereas, like, if you get footballers, they get money thrown at them. With all due respect, do they work harder than boxers? Definitely not.
Talking about putting it on the line, we've got a British title fight tonight. John Lewis Dickinson defending his British title against Neil Dawson. Neil punches like a mule. John expected maybe to box his head off a little bit, but it's got potential fireworks there, hasn't it?
Boxing's all about styles, James, and there's 2, like you said, contrasting styles. So I'm looking forward to that fight. There's some great matchups on this show. You were at the weigh-in yesterday. You saw the Kurt Gooding, Gary Fox.
I did indeed.
Weigh-in where there's definite needle, and it's spilling over. Now, make no mistake, with the big one with Ward and Hall, there's needle there, but they've kept the respect and they've been able to, keep it in. With Fox and Goodings, they couldn't help themselves because it's spilling over. So that coke, once they let that coke out, it's going to absolutely explode that fight. And I think it's going to be last man standing. It could be in for an early night one way or another.
It looks like they're absolute bastards, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think obviously they're both going to go for it, and whoever gets caught first. So it could be a right humdinger. So there's some great matchups, and like in some of the big events that we see in boxing, sometimes the left-hand side of the card, they're going to win, but it's just a matter of when. You definitely not got that tonight.
You know what also I like, as well as the world title fight, we've got 2 heavyweights in action. 2 heavyweight fights, so 4 heavyweights in action in fact. Yeah. That's great, from the big crowds, they want to see their big men. Everyone loves 2 big men hitting each other, don't they? Yeah,
because they used to say it's the greatest prize in sport, isn't it? Being the heavyweight champion of the world, and if we can produce somebody, that's the only thing probably I haven't done at a top class heavyweight. And obviously, I hope we've got one in Dave Allen, the White Rhino. Time will tell. So it's early days yet, but we've got a class act on the bill in Fast Steady Chambers, and obviously he's been up there with the best. We fought the Klitschko's, and he wants another copper tip. And he's with the right team now with the Furies. I've had some sort of tie-in with Peter, and hopefully we can get him another shot at the world title, and this time he can take it, because the Klitschko's aren't going to be around forever now. And it's who's going to take over their mantle, and hopefully Eddie can get hold of one of the versions. Then we've got other kids coming through. He's got Huey Fury, obviously there's Tyson Fury. There's some great matchups, some great quality heavyweights in this country. It's more talent in the heavyweight division in this country than what there's been for decades. So it's exciting times for the heavyweights, and the heavyweight do get your outsider boxing. They do get your crossover, and they do get your outsider boxing people interested. So hopefully we get a new heavyweight champion of the world coming from these shows.
Listen, I think it's an absolutely stacked card. The Metro Radio Arena looks to be a good place. I've had a little look around the venue and stuff, and I'm excited. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing how some of the fights develop.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. Like I keep saying, I'm a fan, and I've got this young Tommy Ward on who I want to have a look at, because Dave
Martin's brother?
That's my brother, and that's a kid that Dave Garside manages as well. And
he's 7-0, is he? Really?
Yeah, and he's talking about us doing. He thinks he's better than Martin, which is like what a lot of people think, but that remains to be seen again. But he's supposed to be a great talent, so he's on early tonight. So I want to have a look at him. He's fighting one of my kids back from Sheffield, little Cass. I want to see how he fares with him. He's fought him before, totally outboxed him, but Cass has a lot more experience now, so he might present something different, which Thomas has got to cope with. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he copes with that. All the way through the card, there's some talent. Obviously, we've got Bradley Saunders there, who's a Olympian and stuff. So he's
massive
got great
name in the North East as well, isn't he?
Massive name. So obviously he's ready to make that next step and go and get involved in major titles. So if I can have an hand in that, fantastic. I'm working with Francis closely now, and we're going to develop a few fighters together. So obviously there's Frankie Gavin, who's just waiting for his slot for a world title. Great matchup if he fought Khan, if he fought Kell Brook. I fancy Frankie with any of them. He's just waiting to show his class. He's probably getting a little bit frustrated because he knows what he's got in the tank. So he's just getting ready to get unleashed on the world scene, and I think it would be an absolute superstar, Frankie. So that's another one on the card. So there's some talent all the way through it.
Show starts at 5 o'clock tonight at the Metro Radio Arena. Can I ask what time we're going live on Box Nation?
To be honest, James, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be from about 6:30. They're going to probably put 1 or 2 in the can as well, which you obviously need to. It's a long night of boxing, but one thing's for sure, you pay your 35 quid, you pay your 75 or 150, whatever you paid, guaranteed entertainment. Watch football for 30, 40 quid, you don't know what you're going to cop for. I'll guarantee absolute entertainment and theatre tonight.
Dennis, I want to thank you for your hospitality for iFL TV and looking after us the way you have. Even taking me out for dinner the other day, it was really nice of you guys, and I thought I got to know you a bit more. We
shared a bottle of wine, pal, didn't we?
We did. Just chatted, talking boxing and life. It was nice. It really was.
No, proper people. I like to be around proper people and keep it real, James. And you're one of the real people, not like your compadre who thinks he's a big time. You keep it real.
That's a bit harsh.
You keep it real. I'll knock about with you. I prefer you.
Alright, say nothing.
You're my man.
thank you for a bit of time today. Respect.
Respect, man.
And I'll see you tonight.
Thanks, James. Thanks for your support,
Cheers,
mate.
Dennis. Thank you, mate.
Top man, you're a gentleman.